we will talk about logistic regression using eViews. See, logistic regression, see, there are many important research topics for which the dependent variable is limited. Limited in the sense, the answers of the respondents are yes or no. Will you vote particular this party? The answer will be yes or no. Will the person die or remain alive? Answer may be yes or no. Sometimes it may happen. The answer may be in probability. Yes, there is 30% chance that the person will be alive. Or there is 70% chance that the person will be alive. So there is now this probability is always between 0 and 1. So our dependent variable is either 0 or 1 or between 0 and 1. Now, binary logistic regression is a type of regression analysis where the dependent variable is a dummy variable with the code 0 that I will not vote, or code 1, yes, I will vote or I voted. I'm going to use the example that will tell me whether the person will get the fracture or not. If his weight is more, or if his height is more, or if his age or gender, male or female, if they fall, there is a chance of more fracture or there is a chance of no fracture. So that 0 and 1 we are going to use. Bankers also use it. Now, bankers note down the characteristics of certain people. They note down what is his age, how much the credit card bill he is raising, how much the credit he is taking, and what is his debt to income ratios, and what is his income, how long he has served with a particular employee. So if they have got the record, and they default, they don't pay the EMI, they don't pay. So with the past record, can we say the present person who is taking the loan from the bank, will he default or not? If he is defaulting, so we give him 1. If he does not default, we give him 0. So, and we can calculate either yes or no, or the probability of his default. Mostly when the probability is more than 0.5, so we say it is yes, or if it is less than 0.5, we say no. So this way we calculate whether there are, how many are yes are there or how many no are there. So we can forecast it from the forecast value. We can calculate how many are yes or how many are no, if the probability is more than 0.5 or less than 0.5. So this is the way we do this logistic regression. Now, what is OLS? Now, in the OLS regression, we simply take y is equal to a plus bx plus error. Now, where y is equal to 0 and 1. Now, I just want to give you one example. Say a is minus 0.3 and b is 1.5. Now, if x is equal to 1, so what will happen? 1.5 minus 0.3 is equal to 1.2. It is more than 1. 1.5 minus 0.3. The y is equal to more than 1. What do you mean by more than 1? That it is expecting the probability is more than 100%. Similarly, if x is 0, so then in that case, the y is equal to minus 0.3. Next one is the error terms are heteroscedastic. That the variances, they do not remain constant throughout, they change. E is not error. Error is not normally distributed because y takes on only two values. The predicted probabilities can be greater than 1 or less than 1, as I have given you the example. Say A is minus 0.3 and X is 1.5. So it will be, if X is 1, it will be more than 1. Y will be more than 1. If X is 0, Y will be less than 0. So that does not look nice. That does not look good. So that is why we don't use linear probability model. Now, this linear probability model, if I show it on graph, the graph will become your X variable here. The graph will become like that. It will cross 1 or it will cross 0. So this probability will be crossing more than 1 or less than 0 in case of linear probability. So there is a fatal flaw, OLS, least square method. Logistic regression, basically, we talk in terms of probability. So model is like that. ln, that is log. ln is to the base e. Log is always taken as base 10, but we usually take ln. So in softwares, it is easy for us to anti-log. Anti-log is exponential term. So ln is of p upon 1 minus p. So what is p? P means probability divided by 1 minus p. So this actually, this is called odds. How many odds we have got? So p upon 1 minus p, and if we take the log of that and then we regress it on x with alpha plus beta x plus error, so then it will be a good thing. Is the probability that events y occurs, and p upon 1 minus p is the odds ratio. So log of odd ratio, we may call it log it. We may call it log it. So log p upon 1 minus p. So logistic distribution constrains the estimated probabilities to lie between 0 and 1. So this is the benefit of logistic distribution, because y, whatever values we are going to take it up of x, y is going to fall between 0 and 1. So the estimated probability is p is equal to 1 upon 1 plus exponential term of minus alpha minus beta x. So actually, if you take it up, so what is your earlier slide? We have taken it up. So this is alpha plus beta x. So if we want to calculate probability, so this will become minus alpha minus beta x. Now, if you let alpha plus bx is equal to 0, now then in that case, exponential term of 0 is called 1. Exponential term of 0 is 1. So 1 upon 1 plus 1, that is 1 upon 2, that is equal to 0.50. Now, as alpha plus beta x gets really big, p approaches 1. If alpha plus beta x gets really small, p approaches 0. So this is the benefit of logistic regression. Instead of using directly y and OLS, we use logistic regression using the formula log p upon 1 minus p. That will be our dependent variable. Now, in that case, if we compare the linear programming and logit model, so as I have already explained, this will cross these two lines, 0 and 1. This LP model, linear programming model, will cross 0 and 1. This is though we don't want it. But logit model that will remain within the zero end. That is the benefit of logit model, because it will not cross the 0 and 1 lines. It will remain within the 0 and 1. So maximum likelihood estimation is a statistical method for estimating the coefficient of a model. The likelihood function measures the probability of observing the particular set of dependent variables, probability 1, 2, 3, that occurs in the sample. So likelihood of probability is probability 1, 2, 3, that all multiplied, this Pn. So the higher the L, the higher the probability of observing the P's in the sample. We are to calculate the higher likelihood of the total probability. So this is what we use in our logistic regression. We use maximum likelihood. So MLE involves finding the coefficients of alpha and beta that makes the log of likelihood function, and LL is less than 0 as large as possible. So you can see this video, how we can calculate the maximum likelihood and how we can find out alpha and beta in my video regression. This is quite interesting. Just hardly a 5 minutes video. It will just tell you how we can maximize the log likelihood. Or finds the coefficient that make -2 times the log of likelihood function -2 LL as small as possible. So the maximum likelihood estimates solve the following conditions: y minus p when y is equal to 1 and xi is just equal to 0, summed over all observations when we take all the observations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Logit coefficients, which is usually more intuitive, is the odd ratio. We use the odd ratio. Since p upon 1 minus p is exponential term alpha plus beta x. So if we take the antilog of both sides, that is exponential term of both sides, this log will go away. So this side will be exponential alpha plus beta x. So exponential beta is the effect of the independent variable on the odd ratio. Instead of taking directly beta, if we take up the exponential term, so then it will have the direct effect on the odd ratios. Now, hypothesis testing, usually we do it with the Wald test. Wald test, see, t-stat and Wald test, there is no much difference. But only difference is Wald is a scale. T-stat is beta upon standard error of beta. T-stat is what? T-stat of beta is beta upon standard error of beta. But Wald is, it's a square of that, which is distributed chi-square with 1 degree of freedom. Okay, so the partial R square, which can be taken out from SPSS, or also it can be taken out from eViews also. So R is Wald minus 2 divided by -2 LL log likelihood alpha under root. So this gives you the R. Now we can correct the percentage correction. See, SPSS usually gives you what is the percent correct predictions. It calculates it, but in other softwares you can calculate yourself. So this static assumes that if the estimated P is greater than or equal to 0.5, then the event is expected to occur and not occur otherwise. So if it is more than 0.5, it will occur. If it is less than 0.5, it will not. By assigning these probabilities 0 and 1 and comparing these to the actual 0s and 1, the percentage correct yes answer, percentage correct no answer, and overall percentage correct scores are calculated. Okay, see how many actual yes are there, and by your calculation, how many yes are there. So we just calculate percentage that this one has been correctly identified or correctly predicted. Say my yes in actual yes, say my actual yes are 50. So, but in forecast, my yes, which are more than 0.5 probability, they come out to be 30. So correctly predicted 30 upon 50, that is 60% we have correctly predicted. So this is what we use it, how much our system correctly predicts it. So this can be calculated easily. Let us now work on eViews using some data. I will show the data on Excel sheet and then on eViews. It as BMD. I have downloaded the data from some site. I'm thankful to those who have prepared this data. Now this is patient's ID. So this is the age of the patient. This is the sex, that is male or female. And I have coded this data as gender code. So I will simply, instead of writing this gender code, I will write on gender so that it is easy for me to write. And then he got fracture or not. Suppose if he falls, if he got fracture or not. And I have coded it as fracture as Y. So 0 if no fracture, and if there is fracture, then it is Y. Then it is Y. If there is a fracture, then it is a Y. Y is 1. Okay. Then what is the weight of the patient? And what is it, the height of the patient? And then any medication is giving or not? Or what is the waiting time for his treatment and for his fall? And then what is his body mass ratio? Body mass dimension, that is ratio. These are the things. And then we will see whether this person, whether there is any, this person will fracture it. I will open this data. I will open this data in eViews. You can see the eViews file. I have just opened this file in eViews. And this is, say, ID number, then this preferred range is, predefined range is BMD, then age, sex, gender, then fractures, yes or no, weight, and all the variables are there directly. I'll say next, I'll say next, and I'll say finish. Okay, so now this is what is BMD, age, constant is automatically created, fracture, gender is code which we have created, height in centimeters, then patient's ID, whether he has been given any medication or not, residuals, sex, waiting time, weight kg, and yes. Why is your yes, which is your dependent variable, which I am going to use it. So I'm going to use not all the variables. So but I can use it by using press control and use the mouse or your pad click. Then I am going to use it at, because if you want that it should be open by first as Y. So first select Y, and then I can select age, I can select gender, height, BMD, and I don't need any I don't select any medications and all. So I can take weight. Okay. So I have selected it. I will open it as a group. You can see the data, whether the data is there or not. So this group is coming as, so this is coming as Y is 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. So this is our answer. Now age is there, gender is there, height is there, BMD is there, weight is there. So let the person will have fracture or not. So what is the model? So we will create a model. So we'll go to quick estimate equation. So Y, then C is constant, which is required. And then I'll say age, then I'll say gender, and then I will say height, and then simple. There is no need for, because there is no need for then weight. Weight kg, and I think it is kg. weight kg, and then I will take it up as this BMD. So these are the variables which as independent variables which I am going to use it. Now method. Method is you have to select that method. Method you are going to select. It's binary method. See, there is a binary method, binary choice, log it, prob it, extreme value. So select binary method. Okay. And in this, you have to select prob it or log it or extreme value. We will select log it. So I have written the all first dependent variable, then C, then age, gender, weight, height, weight kg, BMD, and then we are going to see log it. And then I'm just going to copy it if it is required. Instead, if there is any problem, I can just copy it so that if it is there, I'll say, okay, it height underscore centimeter. So let us say now, okay, now this is our model. Our model is C constant, which is not statistically significant, 0.9781. Age, coefficient is 0.020752. Probability is 0.33. It is not statistically significant. Gender is not statistically significant. Height in centimeter is not statistically significant. Weight in kg is not statistically significant. But BMD is a statistically significant. If there is, say, it is a negative, minus 0.16249, minus 16.2491, that is a statistically significant. Only BMD, that is body mass dimension, is statistically significant. All other variables are not statistically significant. We can go for coefficient diagnostics, as we have already learned it, how we can do this thing. Collectively, we can see, now this collectively we can do with the wall test. So we can leave this C, first C is no problem, constant, but this is C1. Age is coefficient number is C2. Gender is C3, height C4, weight C5, BMD C6. So I am going to test it collectively with the wall test, whether C2 is equal to C3 equal to C4 equal to C5 equal to C6, collectively C6, they are all equal to 0. So I can test it with the wall test. I say, okay. So it says no, rejected. They are not 0. They affect it. Though mostly the C2 is just is a standard error is this, point to this. If you calculate the t-stats by dividing this value divided by standard error, it will give you the t-stat, as I have already, in our earlier estimate, we have already done it. But collectively, they are not 0. They affect. But most effect is BMD, because that is statistically significant. You can also calculate the residual diagnostic, normality test, residual diagnostic. You can do the normality test, and you can also see the other Q's, statistics, correlogram, and other things you can. Now, I come back to my estimate. I come back directly to my estimate. Now, I will copy this. This all. I will copy this all. I am copying it. This is formatted copy. and I'm going to use an Excel sheet with all the data from eViews, and I have copied it here as variable, coefficient, standard error, Z statistics, probability, they have all come here. BMD's probability is almost 0.000, so it is 1% statistically significant. So what I want to know, that a person, if he is, these are the coefficient. Suppose a person is, I will insert some few lines here, insert few rows here, so that you may understand it. Suppose the person is age is say 50 years, okay, and his gender is say 1, that is male, and his height in centimeter is 160. Okay, I'm just giving you this, and then its weight is say 85 kg, and his body mass is usually say, we can say 0.7. I've just taken it up. Now, will this person have fracture or not? If he falls, will he have fracture? So first constant is to be taken as 1, because constant value is to be added in the model. So let me see this. This is equal to sum product of this multiplied by this. Okay, so this will give me the values of ln. This will give me the value of ln minus 0.77359. What I have done, C coefficient, first coefficient multiplied by 1, that is constant, 0.020752 multiplied by 50, age, then gender multiplied by 1, that is male, height is 160, weight is multiplied by weight coefficient into 85, and BMD coefficient into this. And then I will take anti-log of this. What is anti-log of this? That is anti-log of yani some products of we can take directly anti-log of simply B10. We can take directly anti-log, the exponential term of B10. There is no need to write exponential B10 because I have already worked on some other assignment. So that is why these old figures are there. So this can be there. So I can take the anti-log of this. Whatever we have calculated, minus 0.777359. Anti-log of this is 0.45961. Now I am going to find out P. How I am going to find out P? You can simply B12 divided by B12 plus 1, that is 0.31. So that means it is less than 0.05. Constant is to be taken as 1 because constant value is to be added in the model. So let me see this. This is equal to sum product of this multiplied by this. Okay, so this will give me the values of ln. This will give me the value of ln minus 0.77359. What I have done, C coefficient, first coefficient multiplied by 1, that is constant, 0.020752 multiplied by 50, age, then gender multiplied by 1, that is male, height is 160, weight is multiplied by weight coefficient into 85, and BMD coefficient into this. And then I will take anti-log of this. What is anti-log of this? That is anti-log of yani some products of we can take directly anti-log of simply B10. We can take directly anti-log the exponential term of B10. There is no need to write exponential B10 because I have already worked on some other assignment. So that is why these old figures are there. So this can be there. So I can take the anti-log of this, whatever we have calculated, minus 0.777359. Anti-log of this is 0.45961. Now I am going to find out P. How I am going to find out P? You can simply B12 divided by B12 plus 1, that is 0.31. So that means it is less than 0.05. If age is 25, now I have fitted everything, and height is say 150, and the weight is say 65, and the person is female, and BMD is 0.8. Is there a chance to have this? So there is only a 2% chance of fracture. 2% chance. Earlier there was 31% chance to have fracture. So this way you can calculate. What is the chance that the person will have yes or person will have no. Percent will have yes or percent will have no. So this is the way you can calculate you can forecast it. You can forecast for bank loans, you can forecast for death, you can forecast with the investments, you can forecast with many other things. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. If you have any question, you may submit your research work at Journal of Global Economy, rcssindia.org. Your work is evaluated by peers with double-blind methodology. You will get comments for your work. Thank you.